Hi, you guys. I'm Noelle with Noelle Rollins Art. I have 2 activities you can do right now that will change your life. Let's get started with them. So we're going to talk about boundary setting and a brain dump of stress. So I'm reading this from my notes. Don't want to forget anything, so you can get the absolute most out of this. So grab a piece of paper and a pen. You're going to want to do this right along with me if you can, or at least kind of set up so you can do it afterwards. Go ahead and pause the video. I'll wait a second. All right. This process is something you can do weekly, monthly, or whenever you need. So I want you to go ahead and write down everything or person who is adding stress to your life. And if you don't have time to actually do this right now during the video, you can either pause it like I said, or you can just write stress, people, things, and then leave a space. So it can be a simple thing like, I don't want to forget to buy cotton balls at the store on the next visit, or the names of people who are intentionally or unintentionally bringing drama or hurt into your life. Write down projects in your mind, goals that you have not yet gotten to, even unresolved decisions and positive things that you just haven't gotten to that you don't want to forget about. Everything you can think of that is taking up space in your brain. So I first did a version of this, a little different, with my business coach, Christine Kane. She's amazing, by the way. I was so amazed at how helpful it was to unload it all and have it on paper. It just helped my mind not sit in bed at night and just spinning, hoping I wouldn't forget about all the things. It just created a calmness in my head, which my brain is always running in circles. So this was a huge life-changing thing for me. All right, so I've adjusted this process to work a little bit more focused on grief or after major life changes, but this could be also coming out of the pandemic, anything like that. All right, once you have all those things listed on paper, I want you to circle the things that you cannot do anything about right at this moment. So just circle everything that is from Aunt, Carla has cancer, to will there be traffic for work tomorrow? All the things that you really don't have much where you can control the outcome of that. Now, it could be a separate thing if you say, want to send Aunt Carla a gift or donate to Aunt Carla's GoFundMe. Something like that is a different specific item that you can make a list of if there's something about that you can do something about. All right, so these things might be a health crisis, a loved one's going through, a fingernail you cut too short, anything in between. Don't judge, just write it all down. As you look at each one of these circled items, you are going to say a prayer, put good energy, whatever your thing is about that item. Just look at each one and release it. Release it and trust it to the higher good that you're just going to send it all the most positive energy, love you can. Bless it. Next, put a square around any person on that list that you know is toxic. So as you think of this person, do you just get that feeling in your gut or somewhere in your body where you're like, ugh, maybe you have to deal with them, or maybe you don't. Maybe it's an ex-in-law, maybe it's a ex-neighbor, a friend, a coworker. Put a square around them. This can be someone who depletes your energy constantly without returning the help. Like, hey, I need to talk to you, and they unload on you, and then it's like crickets when you need anyone. They could be mean or abusive. They just are someone you just can't trust. It doesn't even have to be as dramatic as those. It could just be someone who simply after every encounter leaves you worse than they found you. What boundaries can you put in place with that person? Is the solution to limit contact? Or maybe you have to adjust your expectations of them so they can't continually disappoint you? Is it someone who manipulates you and genuinely makes you feel bad? Can you cut off contact with them on some level or altogether? Can you do this in a way that honors your integrity? So sometimes this can be something as simple as, I have a gut check system for social media where I get that all people have opinions and whatever, but if someone starts sharing a lot of stuff or they're constantly negative and I kind of have that ick feeling, I'll give them one chance. The second chance, I'll hide them for 30 days. Even if I love them, right? I have a few, in my white uncles club, I call them affectionately. Love them in real life. The most generous, would do anything. But for some reason on social media, like, you see this other side of them that's just spewing like anger and hatred and conspiracy. It's just exhausting. So I hide them. Like, they've gotten the 3 strikes you're out. So they are no longer, like, either I'm not friends with them or they've been hidden. And what that's allowed me to do is when I actually see them in person, I can just have a really nice visit with them, keep things light. I know not to address the deep conversations that we stand on opposite sides of those. And I try to just find other bridges that we can connect on and love them for who they are. But by me not seeing them on a daily basis, this other side of them, it at least allows those holiday encounters or whatnot to be pleasant, and me appreciate the other parts of them that are good. All right, let's see. Back to what boundaries can you put in place? You don't want to cut off someone completely just because you are avoiding having a conversation or there was a simple disagreement. So this is not something like you have an awkward thing or maybe you owe them money and now you have a bad feeling about it and so you're avoiding them. That's not what this is. This is just like for people that have kind of an unapologetic pattern that they present with you. This is a tool for you to acknowledge that and then address how to deal with it going forward. So if you can use it in that way, it's an incredibly freeing gift. So lastly, look at the remaining items and things that are not circled or squared. Are there any things that can be fixed today on that list? Simple things like folding the laundry or a phone call you've been avoiding, a letter, paying a bill. So now take some out of those or make a list of the remaining items and find a way to resolve them over the next few weeks and months. You have been through enough with your loss and stresses and life changes. You no longer need to carry the weight of others' lists or others' previous expectations. You can adjust your life now to what makes sense as you align your goals, your dreams, your purpose, your integrity with those around you and balance that with the memory of your loved one. So this is your chapter change moment. You get to redecide. Right now, I'm giving you permission. You may have been putting up with the annoying neighbor who makes the inappropriate jokes for far too long. I dare you to just stand in the uncomfortableness of either not acknowledging that and feeling like you need to fake laugh, or do the really uncomfortable thing and say something like, I'm curious why you find that funny, and then just stop and wait. I heard a really good tip in a TED Talk recently of somebody who, kind of like I was talking about with the White Uncles Club, who approached it was actually their uncle too in the video. She approached her uncle and she said, Uncle so-and-so, I don't understand. In real life, I know that you would run into a burning building for anyone. You are the most generous, loving, thoughtful person. But why do I see you like sharing these inappropriate things or hate-filled or racist things on social media? Help me reconcile that. Which one is you? How do you explain that? And then she said, just sit and wait. Put them on the spot. You're not calling them out. You're not being rude, but you're asking them to kind of explain why they're okay with that. In real life, they may not be that way. Why do they feel like they can say those things or pass on the jokes and reshare jokes that are inappropriate behind a screen? And I loved that. All right. So this is the second part of this. So flip your page over. I want you to write down these 6 things. So I got this from Anthony Robbins. He talks about the 6 human needs. They are certainty. And the second one is uncertainty and variety. So you need both of these in your life. You don't want everything to be certain. You don't want everything to be uncertain. Certainty would be defined as like an assurance that you can avoid pain but gain pleasure. Like you want to know that certain things are just okay and good and going to happen as planned. Uncertainty and variety is the need for the unknown. You like a little excitement, some change, something stimulating that's not just part of your everyday. Significance. You want to feel unique, important, special, needed. So certainty, uncertainty, and variety, significance. Number 4 is connection or love. We all need this. It's a strong feeling of closeness, a union to someone, a group, being a part of something. Number 5 is growth, which is an expansion of capacity, capability, understanding. You want to know that you're moving forward in life, whether it's becoming a better fisherman, whether it's becoming a better writer, musician, better at your job. We all need things that we feel good about that we're growing in. And number 6 is contribution, a sense of service, a focus on giving, helping others, supporting others. So each of these values, human needs, are kind of in different orders for each of us. So when we know these areas and we can consciously look at them and analyze where we may be falling short in a certain area, it can help us really kind of define what maybe that missing feeling is in our life. So I want you to look at these 6 areas and put them in the order that you prioritize them in. And this could be sometimes, like I always like to say that I prioritize family time, and then I realize I'm a workaholic. I would put family time, if I was making a list of those things, on there. So like in this one, it would be connection and love. But then realize that I always prioritize growth. So I want to put them in the order that I want them to be in, my goal order. So go ahead. Certainty, uncertainty, significance, connection and love, growth, contribution. Once you have those in the right order, then I want you to, next to that, I want you to write, how are you meeting that need in your life right now? So certainty, what things do you have in your life that you can just count on? Like for me, we have a safe home. My husband has consistent hours and a paycheck. Those things are certainty. So we have some baseline things that we have in place that then I can build upon those. Now, granted, when we begin traveling in a few months and the house is rented out to someone else, both of those will go away. So in that time of life, we're going to be actually prioritizing the uncertainty, the adventure, the travel of it all. Kind of doing an around the world trip. It's more focused on the growth, understanding other cultures. So that will be the priority for those, months. So listing out how you're meeting those can start to give you a clue on what areas maybe you need to just put a little more focus on and love in. I did this years ago when I was actually, the first time I did this, something similar just was when I was going through a divorce. I'm trying to think what year that was, 04, 05. And I kind of went through even a step further and listed every area, like health, my job, my living situation, my parenting, just all of these things. Where was I? Listed out. And then on the opposite side of the paper, I put, where do I want to be? And it just gave me an action plan. I can look at those. And so for you with these values, look at them, see what you're doing in each of those areas. And then if you choose, you can even further on write, what would you like to be doing in each of those areas? Is there something you've been putting off? Or is there something that you, maybe you're doing too much in some of those areas and it's a little overwhelming? Kind of write where you want to be. And just start to connect the dots to see an action plan that you can put into place of how to get to that more balanced, full life. And you really will start to just feel better overall. And between cutting out the toxic people and the toxic things, doing the brain dump and getting the endless reel kind of paused in your head and onto paper, and then putting these values in order and kind of really getting clear about that, I'm telling you what, life changer. All right. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel. Help others find it. What would you add to the comments? I would love to hear. Put in the comments if there's anything that you would like to add to this. I love learning from you, and I'm just here to share what's helped for me in what I have learned and start a conversation. I'm by no means an expert, just have lived it. But I know a lot of people live it, and they live it in different ways. So I'd love to hear from you, and your comments are welcome. Just keep them kind and supportive. We're all in different places in life and doing the best we can. So let's support each other. I really want this channel to just be full of love and support. There's enough people out there doubting and criticizing, each other, and I don't want that here. So I know you don't either. That's why you're here on this channel, not some other one. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm really grateful to have you here, and I hope to continue these conversations in my next video.